1999, I started out at the Y, full-time, after-school director, and you had already been there for about a year at that point. You'd done 1 year had 1 year under your belt. So I start up, and we're doing our thing out on the playground. Kids are playing, we're doing stuff with them, engaged in activities. Then it gets to a point where the kids are doing things on their own, and you and I have a chance to step back and we just get talking. And I knew at this point that you were a pastor. And at times that made me a little nervous because, you know, I might swear or something. And so we would talk about things, and I would, being the questioning person I am, I would always ask questions. Why do these things happen? Why do bad things happen to good people? And I would, you know, I'd ask, and I wasn't asking in kind of to be rude or disrespectful towards God, but it was just my way of trying to find these things out. And I can remember having very deep conversations. And I think these conversations those conversations really developed to where I am now. And I think that I will always be a seeker. I don't ever want to not be a seeker. It put me on the right road of where God really was and how to really be in touch with God. And what was really funny about that was because it was just two friends talking, having a conversation. And I never felt as though I had you beating me down with the Bible, like, you know, do you know where you're going to go? And it wasn't that sort of thing. It was, I felt like it was two friends. I could ask questions, and I never felt as though that the answers were, they were the type of answers that you put thought into it, and it wasn't just out of the can. I felt like you really, if you didn't know, you didn't know.
What was it for you, like, about the way that we could have a conversation, say standing on the playground with 30 kids around, that made you feel comfortable enough to ask questions?
For me, the key was our friendship. And that I had a trust in you, we had a bond, we had formed a relationship as friends that I felt comfortable asking these things. The answers were genuine. They didn't seem like you had like a script that you were using. It was just two friends who were talking. It was just straight answers from two people who were becoming friends and had become friends. And I've had a chance to do the same thing with other people. And this person, I talked about church, we talked about God, we talked about the relationship, to forget the rules, to think of God as just someone you can talk to. A lot of our conversations still go back to that subject of I still have questions and that I like to have answers to, and sometimes it's just because I have questions, and sometimes because it's comforting because you just want to be reassured. And when you're fortunate enough to have the person who really put you on the right path is still, you know, part of your life, it's nice to get the reassurance, like, okay, well, I remember him telling me this 10 years ago, but is it still true? And so to have that, I think that because of our friendship, that still becomes a focal point of it a lot of times we get together. It might not start that way, but the conversations almost always lead that way with us. I really had to stop myself from getting up and giving you a hug because I really did, like.
Thanks. It's awesome. I'm so glad we get to share the story.